Hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest 2A propaganda. First up today, we've got some sage crime-fighting advice from Oakland PD. With city administrators inviting criminals to just do as they please, it's actually a little surprising the police there are even trying at all.
Thanks for nothing. You think you can do better? Punk.
But even for the land of fruits and nuts, this advice is pretty silly. They want you to carry an air horn, not a gun or OC spray or a taser or even a pointy stick. They want you to make loud noises to protect yourself.
Loud noises!
Would it work? I don't know. I guess that might be better than nothing, but then again, it could actually be worse than nothing. The idea is to scare off the attacker and draw attention, but I'm a pretty peaceful person, and if you blasted one of those things in my face, even I would be tempted to slap the stupid out of you. I wouldn't be surprised if it increased aggression, not just because it's obnoxious, but because your attacker doesn't want you to draw attention. It's kind of like that stupid saying about racking a shotgun to scare off an intruder. Sure, it might scare them off, or it might inspire them to mag dump their Taurus in your general direction, endangering everyone in your home. What do you think? If you couldn't carry a real self-defense weapon, what would you carry? I think my favorite non-weapon weapon is a walking stick. You can thump the crap out of somebody with it, but it's nondescript and allowed pretty much anywhere. But it'd be impossible for us to produce quality 2A propaganda without sponsors, so let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by TNVC.com, your source for good old-fashioned, all-American night vision just like Mom used to make.
Hey friend, it's dark half the time on this planet. Unless you got magic powers or a mountain of carrots, you're gonna need TNVC to see at nighttime the right way.
And by Springfield Armory. Check out our review of their new St. Victor 9mm carbine when you're done here. Hawaiian control freaks are having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, or couple of weeks. U.S. District Judge Leslie Kobayashi issued a restraining order against Hawaii's Bruin response bill. The NYSERPA versus Bruin ruling last year required states like Hawaii to issue carry permits fairly to everyone who meets the criteria, but Hawaii and a few other states defied Bruin by passing new laws which attempted to make practically every place a defenseless victim zone. Kobayashi's decision prevents Hawaii from enforcing this unconstitutional law against carrying at the beach, in restaurants, in parking lots, and in every business which doesn't expressly allow firearms. Police state enthusiasts will still get their day in court, but the restraining order signals they're gonna lose.
But I'm not done yet!
Hawaii's idea of partying like it's 1999 was to ban butterfly knives. Although knives are obviously arms protected by the Second Amendment, the district court upheld the ban. Earlier this week, though, a 3-judge panel of the Ninth Circuit ruled Hawaii's ban unconstitutional, saying, "Common sense tells us that all portable arms are associated with criminals to some extent, and the cited conclusory statements simply provide no basis for concluding that these instruments are not commonly owned for lawful purposes."
Suck it, nerds!
Yeah, but it's still not over for Hawaiian gun control extremists. Their next heartbreak is going to be this lawsuit filed against the County of Hawaii for requiring concealed carry permit applicants to waive their right to privacy and to hold harmless the police department for practically anything. And when I say they have to waive their rights to privacy, we're talking about violating all of the most sacred and confidential relationships. Now remember, this is all for a process which is not supposed to involve any discretion whatsoever on the part of the issuing agency. Either the applicant meets the criteria or they do not. There's no room for qualitative assessments of character that you might get by talking to the guy's pastor, for example. The Fifth Circuit reversed the conviction of a Mississippi man who got sentenced to 4 years in prison after getting caught with guns and jazz cabbage. During a traffic stop, local police found 2 guns and some roaches, so they referred him to the feds. Now, if you're worried this ruling means you're going to be stepping all over the pot needles at the local range next time, slow your roll. The ruling is as applied to this particular case. They did not rule on the constitutionality of the 1968 Gun Control Act, only that it violated this man's rights in this case, particularly because the DEA did not administer a drug test and no one could prove the man was actually intoxicated at the time of the arrest. In short, our history and tradition may support some limits on an intoxicated person's right to carry a weapon, but it does not justify disarming a sober citizen based exclusively on his past drug usage. Oxford County Sheriff Christopher Wainwright sold over 50 guns out of his evidence locker to a local gun shop, including at least one which was definitely stolen and should have been returned to its owner. He refused to give any details, saying only that the funds were used for equipment.
That answer vague and unconvincing.
When county commissioners investigated the department's financial records, they discovered he had received $5,300 in store credit at JT Reed's gun shop. Did he give his buddies a sweet deal? Did he dispose of some critical evidence?
Unclear.
In fact, the department had no record of the origin of some of the guns, so they may have violated laws regarding the disposition of evidence. Whether he improperly disposed of evidence, the sale was still almost certainly illegal. LE agencies in Maine are required to make a good faith attempt to return property to its rightful owner and take out a newspaper ad listing the unclaimed property. Then, after 5 months, they can discard the property, they can give it to the person who found it, they can donate it, or they can auction it to the highest bidder. But hey, at least he didn't just give them all away to Ukrainian cops. The Phoenix City Council voted unanimously to donate 600 unclaimed guns to Ukrainian police. And no, that isn't legal either. Arizona law prohibits law enforcement agencies from destroying or donating unclaimed firearms. The only legal option is to sell them at auction, and the person receiving the guns has to be able to legally possess them under state and federal law.
Duh.
But even if it weren't illegal, and even if it weren't politically controversial, do Ukrainian cops really need a giant pile of broken Lorsons and Bricos? If you'd like to tell Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego this plan is stupid and illegal, please call her at 602-262-7111. And now, for your moment of Zen. Hey friends, do you like pews and other pew-related things? Would you like to help us keep delivering you pure, uncut American pew propaganda at the low, low price of free fitty? We literally couldn't pay our bills without our sponsors. So do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you.